Illness sucks. All that hard work you previously put in feels like it's been taken away in the blink of an eye. Each time gets harder and harder to get back up, starting over and over again. Starting out is always the hard part. And how I like to deal with these situations is to take it back to basics. Simple, local adventures. And that's why this week I decided to put together a fun, local-ish loop combining the stunning New Forest, the South Downs and the North Wessex Downs. 160-ish miles of bikepacking. This is the Two Downs, One Forest bikepacking adventure.
For what feels like an eternity since being on the bike, my legs are like, oh, we're back to doing this again, are we? It just feels like everything's so hard. It's so frustrating to have your fitness just plummet basically to nothing. But back on the bike, back on the trails, we got some blue skies. And it's looking good. 160 miles this route's going to be. Just back to basics, nice and simple. Probably a couple nights out on the trails. Think I'll probably try and get over to the South Downs today and maybe have a nice camp spot, nice early camp spot if possible. But yeah, I can already feel it in my legs. I've only done like 20 miles. That's what happens when you don't move much for a long period of time. But I'm happy to be back on the bike. Let's go on a nice adventure. Well, I've definitely missed being on the trails, but I've definitely not missed all this overgrown, stinging nettles. Forgot the pain. I forgot the pain.
That's right. The local trails are still overgrown in places, scratching and stinging my skin as I flow through the lush single track with the sun glistening through the trees. It won't be long for all this lush greenery. All these leaves will start to fall to the ground for winter, ready to start all over again for next year.
Well, I've got a nice view. I'm going to sit down and have something to eat. I've done about 35 miles. We are now in the beautiful South Downs. Absolutely beautiful, of course. This is where all the hills are, and them hills feel like so hard right now because I'm so out of form, but you know, it's always the first day that's always the hardest anyway. So you just got to get on with it. Have a bite to eat, and I got some nuts. Pigs in blankets. I mean, come on, pigs in blankets, peanuts. It's not even October yet, and we're already at the Christmas time. I'm gonna do another 20 miles maybe, if I can push it out, get up maybe onto the South Downs Way. I'm really hoping tonight I can find a nice spot to camp. I've got the tent, and get a nice view would be nice, because it's not looking like it's going to rain, so that'd be good. But yeah, first day back on a bike after what feels like forever. It's always the hardest.
It doesn't matter how long you don't ride for, some things never change. And after a quick stop, I noticed over my shoulder a big old rain cloud heading my way. The views blurred by the misty rain was short-lived though, as colour would fill the sky, just in time to be able to enjoy the beautiful rolling landscape of the South Downs.
Well, as you can see, it's already getting dark. Sun is just setting. I'm in some woodlands. I'm like 5 miles away from a place called Liss, spider, and yeah, I've done 56 miles, so actually pretty happy with that, considering. I was hoping for like a nice view up on the South Downs, but it was really windy. I've started to descend off the South Downs Way. Still in the South Downs, but not on the South Downs Way. So it looks like I'm going to find somewhere in this wooded area, which should be nice. It's nice and quiet, out of the wind, good night's sleep, and then tomorrow we'll get up nice and early and head into Liz and grab some breakfast. Right, as always, I'll see you bright and early in the morning. I've got to go rummage around this woodlands, find somewhere nice to camp. See you in the morning. Ah, that was a glorious night. Nice and quiet, peaceful. I slept really well. It's currently about 7 AM. The sun is rising and the sky is blue, and it's looking like it's going to be quite a nice day. Might get a bit cloudy, but it's looking pretty good otherwise. Today I've woken up and I thought I was going to wake up with like all the tired legs, but actually they are actually feeling pretty good, and I'm feeling very refreshed. So we've got a few miles until we get to Liss, and then gonna grab some breakfast. And then today, in about 30 or 40 miles, we're heading over to North Wessex area. So that should be fun. But I think the plan will today be to try and get around there and find somewhere to camp over there, possibly. Who knows? Let's see what today brings. The eagle eye viewers of you may notice on the bomb track, it's got some slightly different bars on at the moment. Kind of just fancied trying a bit more of a traditional sort of shape bar, but didn't want to lose the loop. So these are the Love Mud Conv something or other. I'll do a proper video on them once I've rid them a bit. But not necessarily replacing the Jones H bar, but just trying out something new for a change. Right, let's go see what today brings. First of all though, let's go grab some breakfast. Leaving the shelter of the trees early this morning, I was greeted with a magical sunrise to start my day. Simple but perfect morning, bright blue skies, beautiful woodland trails. Nothing is perfect, but this morning felt pretty close. This morning is so good. The sky is blue, there's not a cloud in the sky, the sun is beaming, and the trails are just so nice, flowing through all these wooded trails. There's been so much rain in England that I really thought this trip was going to be like incredibly boggy, kind of hard to ride and well, very muddy, but the trails have actually held up pretty good, at least for now. Super beautiful morning. I've done 20 miles. I'm just chilling for a bit, just enjoying the scenery, enjoying the blue skies. Probably got another 15 miles until we actually get to North Wessex area, and in about 10 miles maybe I'm going to be coming like below Basingstoke and then up to North Wessex. But we are heading uphill to the highest point on this trip, just past a place called Inkpen, I think it is. And because the skies are blue and the visibility is amazing today, we should get some absolutely beautiful views. But I'm just going to chill for a bit. I'm feeling pretty good actually on the bike today. Yesterday I definitely felt it. Today feeling my usual self a bit more. Definitely not as fit. I can a bit more out of breath on the climbs, but ultimately I'm starting to feel better already. And what a day. What a day. nearly at the highest point. Probably like a mile to go. It has gone a bit cloudy, but the views are still good. Just keep pedaling. Nearly there. On top of the world. Oh, yes, made it to the top. Highest point on this route, and it is glorious. Done it about 50 miles as well, so making really good progress today. Now, it does leave me in a bit of predicament because it's 4 PM, so we've still got a good 3 hours of cycling left until the sun starts setting. But in about 10 miles, 10 or 15 miles, I'll be going through like the Salisbury Plain as I head back towards Salisbury. And if I get to there, then I've got to basically go until I get past Salisbury and find somewhere to camp, somewhere around there. What a glorious, glorious day today has been. It's so, so good. And it's just very nice to be out, and 50 miles done. Definitely starting to feel it in the old legs though today. Right, I'm just going to chill, enjoy the view, and then we're actually going up a little higher. But once we get to the top of that hill up there, it's pretty much all in a downhill direction back to the New Forest. About 60 miles left to go as well. Perfect. Oh wow, that is me done for today. I've actually kind of hit a jackpot because I found a really nice wooded area just outside a place called Ludgershall, I think it is, which is perfect because then tomorrow we can head through the Salisbury Plain, possibly if the red flags aren't flying. Otherwise we've got to find a little detour around until we get to Lark Hill. I've actually managed to do about 60 miles again today, so pretty happy with that. Obviously a bit hillier today. Legs are starting to feel it, but I think I'm going to have a good night camp in the woods. There's a bunch of little spots over there. I'm just sat on a stump resting the legs before I set up the tent. It's about 10, it's nearly 7, so it's nearly sunset. Sky is bright blue though. Tomorrow we'll finish our first bikepacking trip since, I don't know, it feels like forever, but nice, good day, and it should be a very plain sailing, pretty much flat or downhill towards the New Forest tomorrow. Right, as always, see you bright and early in the morning. Wow, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's currently about 7 AM and today we seem to have lost the bright blue skies. It doesn't look like there's some sun coming out for at least a while, and it's just generally not as bright as it was yesterday. It's still kind of dark. From here we're going to head through the Salisbury Plain, through the Tidworth Ranges. I'm pretty sure it's open and not red flagged off today, but fingers crossed. Slept so good last night, but I think we did actually have a bit of rain, and I think there might be a bit of potential for a bit of rain for the end of this ride, but we've got about 50 miles to go. It's generally pretty simple, pretty plain sailing, and still mostly kind of downhill. So gonna get packed up and on to our final day of our little simple bikepacking adventure. Let's go. All right, let's go and find some beautiful perfect Salisbury Plain gravel.
A new day, a new sky. This one slightly on the grey side. The trails were a lot wetter today. I must have picked a great spot to set up my camp last night, as my spot was bone dry. The wet trails were going to be the least of my worries today though.
It's a bloody tough battle this morning, I tell ya. Across the Salisbury Plain. Headwind, misty rain, but mainly the wind. Oh, it's brutal today. It looks like it's going to be a headwind for the most part today, getting back. But nearly at Lark Hill now. I'll grab a bit of food from the shop there, and then head towards Salisbury and then the New Forest. Hopefully we'll get a bit of shout from this wind. And I hoped, and I had fingers crossed for a whole trip without having to put this rain jacket on. Not today, I guess. Not today. It's just started absolutely hammering it down. It's just been misty rain all morning, but now it's really coming down. Just sort of on the outskirts of Salisbury at the moment, so rutty. About 30 miles to go. Looks like it's gonna be a wet finish.
With just one final push until the end of this simple adventure, I couldn't help but feel I didn't really want it to end. It was awesome to be back on the bike, back on the trails and spending my nights under the stars. You never really know what you will get when you go out on an adventure, but just like everything you do, at some point it will be the last time you get to do it. The first time is always the hardest, but quite frankly, probably the most rewarding. As I pedalled through the last couple of miles, even the sun started to shine to give me a perfect finish to what was a perfect, simple adventure.